Welcome to my Halloween cafe. Hello rock stars, it's Amara. Today we are doing 90s Halloween memories. Story time. When I was like 7, I decided that I didn't think that Halloween should only happen once a year. I gathered up all the neighborhood kids, and even though it was the wrong time of year, I convinced everyone we should go trick-or-treating. So we went from door to door, almost like a social experiment, but as a child. Grown people have no idea what to do when someone shows up at their door in January and is like, trick-or-treat. So a lot of times people said like no, and I don't remember it ever really resulting in candy, but I thought it was a really cool idea when I was a kid that we could just keep trick-or-treating. Nickelodeon used to do this thing where they had a big orange couch. It's kind of like one of those Victorian ones, but it was all gilded in an orange, and eventually they made it into a bigger, fluffier, more 90s couch. But it was kind of a signal that it was time for like late night, kind of crazy entertainment that was always kind of a little edgy, but also fun. 90s television during Halloween was great, and we'd watch shows like Pete and Pete, which had a Halloween special all about the culture behind pumpkins and pumpkin smashing. There was a show called Are You Afraid of the Dark, which was terrifying. When I was little, I didn't really like candy all that much. I really liked to sort out all my candy. I would get the baking sheets and I'd lay all my candy out. I'd fold up the futon. I'm from Oregon, we had a futon, and I'd set it up and I'd lay all the trays out, and then I'd try to sell that candy back to my friends throughout the year. Later, when I decided to go to business school, my mom told me moments like that told her that I was probably gonna end up going to business school. From candy to business school. It's like the Halloween version of a lemonade stand. One of my favorite things about Halloween is cheesy Halloween movies. The biggest one for me is Hocus Pocus, because amok. The CG and stuff like that's really dated at this point, but man, do those witches have cool outfits. Am I right? Cool clothes. I also really enjoy a lot of those old Disney films. Twitches, snaps to that. Halloween Town, I love all the Halloween Town movies. Used to go to a fast food place, kids meals, come with a plastic container that had a lid, and I remember there was one that was a ghost shaped, one that was like a witch shaped, and one that was a pumpkin shaped, and they actually glowed in the dark, and you could put your Halloween candy in them. So as a kid, that was like the cool thing to have. Oh my gosh, I didn't even talk to you about advertisements. Another thing I loved about growing up in the 90s with Halloween is we had really cool commercials that would come on. These aren't Ray-Bans, but one of my favorite commercials of all time is a vampire set, and they're all like sitting on the benches and the sun's coming up and the vampires all put their sunglasses on, except for one. He can't find them and he's like looking for his sunglasses and he doesn't have them, and he makes a panic face and then he puffs into dust, and the other vampire turns and goes, "Somebody forgot his Ray-Bans." Whoa, and then they all laugh. I thought that was really fun. There was a great commercial for Reese's cups. It would just be like a picture of the Reese's cups, and then there'd be two fangs like missing out of one of the Reese's cups. The voice would come over and it would be like a Dracula voice, and it would say, "I like to eat the peanut butter first." I don't know what costumes you all have done. For a number of years I went as various princesses, so I'd wear various crowns, various tiaras. I once was a bird. My mother made me a very fancy bird costume. I think this year will be one of the first years I go as something unexpected. Kind of an interesting take on a pop culture character going on right now. Feel free to leave a guess in the comments. Tell me some of your favorite Halloween memories below, and if you have plans for this year that you think are going to be specifically creepy, horribly haunted, wonderfully wild. Leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear about what you guys are doing for Halloween. If there's something you remember from the 90s or you've heard about from the 90s that was part of Halloween, we can chat about that. And happy Halloween, my rock stars. Best adventures. Amara, right now in Seattle. We'll talk about LA over cheer. If you had a good time here, you might want to like, subscribe, and comment below.